Hi everybody, my name's Poppy, and this is my story. My story begins 1 year ago in the good old US of A in the beautiful state of Colorado, where I had just graduated from university with a degree in journalism and French. I didn't know what I wanted to do in life, but I knew I didn't want to head down the usual path of settling down, starting a career, and essentially everything that goes along with it. It just didn't feel right to me. I felt rushed and honestly still unsure of what I actually wanted to do in life. So I made a promise to myself to travel. To keep that promise, I bought a one-way ticket on August 11th, 2016. I was excited, overjoyed actually, but I was also scared as hell and sad to leave my friends, family, and most importantly, my boyfriend. How could I not be? I had lived abroad, so I did know that I could do this, but I also knew how challenging, lonely, and exhausting it would be. My first stop was Costa Rica. I had a few small connections there and my very first workaway position at an organic farm hidden in the jungle. It was certainly an eye-opening experience. I was definitely out of my element. I learned a lot, made some friends, and started to feel more comfortable traveling on my own. After a series of run-ins with scorpions, ant infestations, and the forced vegetarian diet I had to endure, I was ready to move on. I applied for my next workaway job at a hostel on the beach. Overall, it was a positive experience, but I never really felt like I belonged there. So when a fellow traveler recommended I go to Guatemala, I quickly bought a ticket and said, adios, Costa Rica. Guatemala was amazing. I headed straight to a language school to improve my Spanish, stayed with a host family, and met many beautiful people. After I felt like I had a good grasp on my Spanish, I braved the infamous chicken bus and headed to Lake Atitlan for another workaway position, this time making videos for an outdoor tourism company. The surroundings were breathtaking, but most importantly, it's the place I would meet two of the most influential friends in my life.
Hi guys, today I am here with my friend Poppy. Hey guys.
Jordan, or as some as you know her, Travel Light.
Yeah, my parents named me Travel Light. Actually, my name is Jordan.
And her boyfriend Livio were also working for the tourism company. And we worked long hours together making videos and exploring Guatemala by paddleboard, bike, and even rock climbing. Before we parted ways, Jordan actually influenced me to start vlogging my travels. I decided to try video blogging. I know that this is my first time and this is honestly probably really awkward and seems really weird.
She is actually just starting a new series about travel on her channel, and I've seen some of the videos and they are really awesome.
If it turns out pretty bad, then you should probably blame them. From Guatemala, I flew to Playa del Carmen, where my boyfriend, who I hadn't seen in 3 months, was meeting me. We had an amazing time. Swimming in cenotes, tanning on the beach, and exploring southern Mexico was just paradise. Until our backpack was stolen from us. The thieves took my brand new camera, our wallets, cell phones, and even my clothes, leaving us stranded on an island dripping wet in our swimsuits. I was devastated, and honestly, I felt like I failed as a traveler. My original plan was to fly from Mexico to Brazil, but I didn't have a camera, I didn't have money, and to top it all off, my laptop decided to finally kick the bucket. Essentially, I would have been alone in the middle of the Brazilian Amazon with no computer, no camera, and no access to money. Instead of getting on my flight to Brazil, I went back to the States. I knew I needed money to replace all my electronics, and ultimately, my travel spirit was just crushed. I moved in with my boyfriend in Denver, got 2 jobs, a cafe in the morning and a restaurant at night, and worked 70 hours a week for 2 months. I was miserable. But I was making the money I needed to replace my things and hopefully, the spirit to continue my travels. But it wasn't easy. Even though I had a few friends and loved ones around, I just got really depressed because I felt like I had failed. All I wanted to do was get back on the road. I toughed out the long work hours and sleepless nights so I could continue traveling, but not without saying goodbye first. I flew home to San Diego for a weekend to see my friends and family. They mean the world to me, and I don't get to see them often. Plus, my parents were in the middle of moving out of my childhood home, so it was an opportunity to say goodbye to San Diego one last time. From there, I flew to Boston to visit my brother.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
He goes to school there.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
And I had never been before. We spent a few days exploring the city and catching up. The reinvigorated spirit thanks to my encouragement from family and friends, a new camera and laptop, and a decent amount of savings from 2 months of hard work, I was ready to travel again. This time, instead of heading south, I went east. My first stop was London. One of my best friends, Alejandra, was living there at the time, and it had been too long since I had last seen her. It would be the last trip hanging out with people I know in a country where I actually speak the language, so I made the most of the comfort and the good times, knowing the difficulties ahead of me. was my next destination, and honestly, I hadn't planned for any travels after it. As far as I was concerned, I was moving there, and I didn't know when I would leave. My dad's Romanian, and I wanted to go there to learn more about my family's culture and also to learn the language. I moved in with a Romanian couple in Bucharest, enrolled in language school as well as private tutoring sessions, and tried my best at assimilating to the culture.
You eat that first? Eat the onion first. Okay, and then the soup.
It was perhaps the most difficult time of my life. I didn't speak the language, or at least not very well.
I don't remember how to speak Romanian.
Fuck bine. And I was still traveling alone, so making friends and keeping busy was difficult. Sure, I had some memorable moments, attending government protests in Bucharest and going on a ski trip in eastern Romania, but I still felt so lost and kept feeling lonely and depressed. Thankfully, I eventually made a few friends who owned a hostel and a tea house in central Bucharest, and they actually offered me room and board in exchange for video production for promotion of videos for their business. Just like that, I felt at home in Romania. I had a purpose now, and a small community of people to talk with and learn from. It truly changed the way that I thought about traveling. I came to this conclusion that, maybe the backpacker lifestyle wasn't for me. I needed stability, I needed a purpose, I needed a community, and a place to essentially call home, and my lifestyle simply wasn't providing me with any of that. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay at the hostel forever, and I was getting really tired of the Romanian winter. With a new mindset and a bright outlook on the future, I headed to France for a couple short weeks before heading somewhere that would change my life forever. My boyfriend met me in Paris, but this time would be different. He wasn't just visiting me like he did last time in Mexico. Instead, he was actually joining me on my travels. Suddenly, I wasn't alone, and all the memorable moments I had while traveling could now be shared with someone I care about. I love France. I lived there for a year when I was younger, so I always felt at home, and the 2-week trip spent between Paris and Biarritz was exactly what he and I needed in order to reconnect and prepare for our next journey. We flew from Paris to Hong Kong, a place where we were sure to feel completely out of our element, but a place that would at least be somewhat of an easier transition from our old lives into our new ones. We were in Hong Kong to get our Chinese visas processed and getting ready for our move to Shenzhen in mainland China, just across the border from Hong Kong. One of my friends from Bucharest had told me that he had lived in Shenzhen for a short time and how much he loved it. From his description, it sounded like another great adventure, but also a place where I could find a little stability, build a community, find a purpose, and still have an opportunity to travel when I wanted to. So we took a leap of faith. There's not much I can say about my experiences in China, except that in no way, shape, or form is China at all what I was expecting. As a foreigner, I learned very quickly that the media which had built the foundation of my opinions of China failed to display or highlight many of the things that make it such a beautiful and interesting land. I've fallen in love with Shenzhen and its people. Sure, like every other place in this world, China has its problems and things that I do not like. But the positives outweigh the negatives for me, and I honestly couldn't be happier to call this place my home. One of the biggest positives about living in Shenzhen for me is its location. Here is Hong Kong. So there's the ferries that are just right this way. All the boats are here, and you can just hop on it and go to Hong Kong. And therefore, its accessibility to travel. Unlike the kind of traveling I was doing before where one destination led to another, I can now travel and return home to Shenzhen. It's allowed me to start exploring Asia without going far from home or spending much money to get there. Just recently, I was able to travel to Malaysia for a volunteer trip. I made a lot of friends, had amazing cultural experiences, and felt like I actually made a difference.
Selamat datang ke Malaysia!
Before heading home to China, I was able to explore southern Thailand for a week, soaking up the sun and exploring the beautiful island of Koh Lanta. Now that I'm back in Shenzhen, I couldn't be happier or more excited about what's to come. I also can't believe that I've been traveling for a year now. I'm gonna be honest with you, this year has been difficult. The hardest year of my life, actually. With every up comes a down. I'm constantly missing my friends and family and often question what life would be like had I not embarked on this adventure at all. You might be wondering, why keep traveling? Well, that's an easy answer. Because I can. I have found that it's easy to focus on the negatives of an experience, a person, a place. But if you're willing to put in the effort to see the positives and see the light in dark situations, you will be rewarded for seeing the beauty in things. That's what traveling's all about. I don't know how long I'm gonna travel for or where I'm gonna go next. I guess that just means you're gonna have to keep checking in to find out where's Poppy.